Hello again. I see we had another one join us during our little 2-minute hiatus, so appreciate everybody making time out of their schedules today. Talk a little bit about LiftOne Now. A little bit of a housekeeping item. We do have everyone muted. Hopefully you're in a safe spot. If any of you have called in from a car or something, please make sure you're in a safe location to participate. If you do have a question, we ask that you put that in the chat function that you'll see at the bottom of the screen. And we will get back to all those questions as we end the presentation. We've got a section blocked out to do so. So with that, I'd like to kind of go over what we're going to talk about today. So we're going to go through what exactly is LiftOne Now, cover some of the basics of how to work within the system with a demonstration, as well as how to get set up and accept an invite and activate that account. And as I mentioned earlier, we're going to make sure we've got a time for questions, because this is a digital product and we're obviously in a digital world right now. This is probably not your first Zoom of the day, if I had to bet, or Teams meeting, or WebEx or Skype. So we want to talk a little bit about what LiftOne Now does. So if you think of it this way, most of you in your daily lives probably have some app that you're using as one of the ways you do business with someone, whether it's in your commercial responsibilities or maybe in your consumer lives. One of the things I think about is like a banking app. You might go to the bank to a teller to exchange change or get cash. You might go to an ATM. You may also use your mobile banking app from Bank of America, Wells, or Truist, or whoever you might use. This is a similar type of tool to make sure that you've got an easy way to get in contact with LiftOne. So not only can you make service requests, which is probably its primary piece, you can look for quote requests on new and used equipment, rental assets if you need to rent a new one. We're in an interesting time right now from a supply chain standpoint. So anything we can do to make it easy to get to us, to find what you need, is really the goal of this product. You can look for quotes for parts. Probably even more importantly about making a service request, you can get real-time updates on it. And it might sound a little strange, but we kind of call it the pizza tracker internally. You know, a little bit of where's my Domino's pizza? In this case, it's where's the status of my repair on my piece of equipment. And you can also view and manage the details of that equipment. So think of it as everything that's in our system that we've worked on at your location or done something with exists inside LiftOne Now. So as soon as that asset is in the system, you'll see it. And you have the ability to add assets in the tool, which then go two-way into our business system as well. So it gives you a really overview or holistic look at your entire fleet. So again, it's a digital tool for a digital world. But I want to make sure that I do it justice, and I'd like to introduce you to one of the people that's very critical to this product, and that's Charlene Ogata, who joins us here on the Zoom. I'm going to turn it over to her for a demonstration of the tool. And again, just a reminder, if you have questions, please drop those in the chat space, and we'll make sure we get to those before we close the webinar today. Thanks for joining us. Again, appreciate the time.
Thank you, Scott. So I am going to be walking you through in real life on our production site. This is LiftOne Now. All those things that Scott just talked to you about, we'll walk through and I'll show you how to use it. And as we go along, if you have questions, just again as a reminder, please put them in the chat. And after we finish this demo, we're going to answer all the questions that everyone has and make sure that you feel really comfortable using this tool. So just to jump right in, when you log into your account, LiftOne Now, now I'm on a PC, but you can also access this through your phone or your tablet. But this is the view for the PC. And when you log in, you are taken to your home screen. And you can see down here at the bottom, you've got your home, your fleet request users, and your individual profile. On the home screen, you can request a repair. New or used equipment quotes, this goes straight to your representative, so they've got some information and then they'll be reaching out to you to go over that. Rental quote, this goes straight to our rental teams, so they'll have the most up-to-date information for you on inventory pricing, availability, and parts quotes. We do have some customers that do their own service, but they order parts through us. You know, we've got a phone queue that you can call into, but our parts customers tend to prefer using LiftOne Now because they can put in their request and then that information will come back to them. Call us. This is a dedicated line to the LiftOne Now team, specifically for support issues with LiftOne Now. And chat, which is probably the most common way our LiftOne Now users reach out to us, You can see if you wanted to start a message with us. As a new user, we will send you some messages and you can close out of those, open them up. It might be something like this, where we're going to tell you how to save this to your home screen on your mobile device. But if you wanted to start a new message with us, you just click send us a message. You can just type anything here like, hey, hey, I have a question. And someone on our team will reach out to you immediately. This is manned during business hours, Monday through Friday. So let's move over to the fleet section. And there you go. Here you will see all of your rolling equipment broken out by location. So if you have multiple locations that you manage or kind of say grace over, they'll show up here and all of that equipment will be listed underneath. And for those of you who have maybe larger fleets, we've got some customers that use LiftOne Now, they've got over 100 trucks. If they manage several locations, they can collapse those locations and view the ones that they want to view, or they might use the search to look for those assets. You can search by brand, by equipment number, whatever you want to search by. You can see that our search function is using that criteria and dynamically pulling up those results. You can also use the filter. If you have rented equipment with us and you want to see anything, like if I were to click on that, there's 0 results there. But let's just say I wanted to see any of my aerial lifts. If I click on that, there's 1 result and there's my Genie. I'm going to go back and clear that filter. I should mention as we're going through, this is a demo account. This is test data. Your data might look just a little differently depending on how you manage your fleet. Over here, we do have some visual cues for you as well. If you have rented truck, you would see that, owned or rented over here to the side. In our system, we view leased trucks as owned as well. So I'm going to click into one of these trucks. If I were to click in on this one, you can see make, model, serial number, the equipment number, which is our number for that installed product. Our technicians have sort of coined this Facebook for forklifts. It's got like all of your information here, and we've got your meter reading. What you'll see here, if you have telemetry on your trucks, this will be the most up-to-date hour meter reading based on your telemetry. If you do not have telemetry, then what you're going to see is the most current hour meter reading that our technicians put on their last work order. If you bought your truck from us, you'll see your acquisition date, that date that you purchased it, or if you have one from somewhere else and you've given us that information, we'll load it into our system and have it there for you. Again, your ownership, the location that you see on this truck is what we show in our system. If you've moved your equipment around and you want to let us know, or if you no longer have that truck, just click on this and we have pre-populated that chat for you with the equipment number. All you have to do is hit send at that point and we will take care of it from there. That truck will be removed from your fleet within 24 to 48 hours. Also, if you scroll down the service history, anything that's been done on that truck since we've been working with you will show up here. You could click on that and you could see the details. So you can see there's a work order number. This is really helpful if you have any questions, that you now have a reference to come back to us with. So, and then everything that you put in there, who submitted it, any request notes, it's going to stay there. And that service history will stay with the truck as long as you have it. So if you wanted to go back, I think it's really helpful. Let's just say you might have one of your operators that say, you know, I've requested this seat to be fixed. You could always go back and say, oh, yeah, they think that they did, but maybe there's nothing here in the service history that shows that. So I'm going to do that. One other, actually, before I click off of this, I want to show you guys, you can edit a few features on this truck. So if you wanted to, let's just say if you were logged into LiftOne Now from your phone, you could actually take a photo of your equipment there and save it. Or if you're on your PC like I am, if you were to replace that photo, you could just go into your photos on your laptop and add it and save it. The equipment number, this is what you call your truck. let's just say it's in building A right now, if I moved it to B1, you can see how it's changing here. And if I were to save those details, it's also going to be now B1 on your equipment list. This is alphabetized, so you can see why that truck moved down there. And it also updates our system behind the scenes in real time. So our technicians, our coordinators, everyone will see what that truck is now called. So I'm going to move to the next section, requests. Here is a list in chronological order of all of your requests that you have outstanding with us. You can filter by these requests. Let's just say if you had marked that a truck was down, it was out of service, and you wanted to see how many trucks do I have out of service that are currently scheduled or repaired. If I were to click on that, I show 0 trucks at this time. If it was received, or if I just wanted to see any scheduled trucks that are, have been scheduled for service, if I were to click on that, I can see that I have 2 at this point. I'm going to clear that filter now. And I'm going to show you how to create a request at this point. If I wanted to click, and we've got different places throughout the app too where you can create a request, kind of whatever's most convenient for you. I'm going to request repair. The first thing it's going to ask you to do is to select the truck that needs service. So let's go back to that B1. You can see here, the first thing we're going to show you is anything that's outstanding on that truck. And where this really comes into play and is very helpful is if there's multiple people at your company who put in requests. Let's just say you've got a couple of warehouse supervisors or just different people responsible for different areas. If they already, like you were going to report a broken clamp, but you see here, oh, someone's already done that, you can just cancel right out of that. Or if you're like, nope, this is something completely different, I'm going to create a request, and I'm going to continue because this is something different. My asset is down. What needs to be done? It won't start. If there's a fault code, this is an optional field, but it is helpful for our technicians from a diagnostic standpoint. If you've got something that you can tell them, kind of gives them, they know what they're walking into. Again, there's that location that's on that asset detail page that I showed you. This is where we think the truck is. If it's in a different location, at least to get your request in, you can go ahead and write it here, or you can kind of narrow down where that truck is so that when our technicians come to your site, they go straight to that truck and get going. They don't have to look around for it. And I know that a lot of our customers have very large warehouses, very large distribution centers. And so this really helps our technician get going and get your truck back up and running. So let's just say this is, stuck on dock B. Anything else we should know? Call Jim before leaving. And then hit send. This will immediately show up in your request list. Here, if you've got several trucks that need service and you wanted to go ahead and submit for different ones, you can, or you can just return to the request list and you will see this is at the top. Scott mentioned to you a pizza tracker, and that's what we affectionately call this, kind of some new functionality that is still, we've implemented part of it and we have more to go, but when a request comes through our system, it's always going to start out as received. That will give you the peace of mind that we have it. This is going to go straight to the service department that manages that installed product for you, and it's going to alert our coordinators to basically take action. Once they assign a technician and put it on their calendar, it's going to move to that scheduled status. So this will give you the peace of mind that someone has it, they've assigned it to a technician, and they've added it to their calendar. Once the technician comes to your site and begins working on it, you would see this change to repair in progress. But if we were just to look at this right now, you can see you've got your work order, you know everything that's going on. And back to, if you've got multiple people putting in requests, this is really helpful that you'll know who actually did it. Let's just say if I had used my name, this would have been submitted by Charlene Ogata. And if you were to put in that same request, or if you had a question as a coworker, you could go back to Charlene Ogata and say, hey, you put in that request, what's going on with that truck? It really helps with communication. And then also, I mentioned in the beginning that you could put in a request for a new piece of equipment or used piece of equipment. Those show up in your list as well. We've added some icons here on the left so that you can just visually, quickly find your repair. And again, we've got the filters to help you as well. So let's move over to users. This is going to show you a list of everyone at your company who has access to your account. So from here, you can see we've got a few different statuses of users. We may have added someone and it's initially going to say not invited because we have to go in and just from a security standpoint, we at LiftOne will send that invite to that user and then it will change to invited and then activated once they activate their account. You can invite coworkers if you just add in their email address, their first name and last name, and press invite user. That will send them an invitation and will drop them once they complete their sign up right into your account. You can also copy a link. I think we're all kind of familiar with this functionality, whether it's like through YouTube or some of those other things that we use on an everyday basis, where it just, you can see the link copied to a clipboard. You can then put this in an email and shoot it off to your coworkers if you, let's just say, had multiple people you wanted to send it to. And then profile. This will look familiar to you as you complete the sign up, which I'll show you after the demo, where, you know, it's got your mobile number. And we ask for a mobile number just because it's really helpful, say, for our technicians, or if we had a question about your request or needed to reach out to you with something, we want like the most accessible way of finding you. Notification preferences, you can choose email and or text. Currently, this will send you success messages that things have gone through, your service request has gone through, or you know, anything else like that. Location preferences, I mentioned this before when we were looking at the fleet. All of the locations tied to your account when you told us how to set up your account will be located here. So let's just say I only manage our Charlotte facility. If I were to uncheck the one from Hickory and hit save, and then I go back to my fleet list, you'll see the only trucks I now have access to that I'm going to see kind of on a more permanent basis is just Charlotte. I can go back and change it, but I only want to see Charlotte. I don't care about the Hickory location. It's not under my management, so this is what I'm going to see. And also it will filter that on your request. You're not going to see anything for the other locations here unless you want to. If something's changed and I'm like, yeah, now I am over the Hickory and Charlotte, all I have to do is go back to my profile page, check that, click save. And like magic, there it is. So there's a few other things here on your profile page. If you wanted to view a tutorial, it'll just take you through the different screens and kind of just on a basic level tell you what's there. We also, because LiftOne Now is not what you would call a native app, you're not going to find this in the App Store. We do show you through YouTube. If you clicked on that, it will open up YouTube and walk you through how to add it to your home screen where it feels like an app. It's really a shortcut, but it's got an icon, it looks like an app, and you know, it makes it really convenient for you to access. Our terms and conditions are here. You can change your password here. We've also made it really easy for you. If you log out and you forget your password, you just have to add your email address and we'll shoot you an email immediately. So that's pretty much the basic functionality. One thing I think I wanted to add I skipped over the first time when I was talking about edit. You can also add your own notes here. We don't keep this in our system. This is really just in the app. If you, let's just say this particular asset, you never want it moved from your shipping department. If you could say, you know, like used for shipping only, anyone who has access to your app or uses it could see that and would know asset notes used for shipping only. Or you might say this is assigned to a specific operator. And one thing that Scott mentioned earlier as well is the ability to add an asset. If you have acquired an asset from someone else, or you know you had something that we've never done service on, it's not in our system, you can go through here and fill out the different fields in the form and submit that to us, and it will add it to your account on the back end. And you know there's a few things that our data governance people will do, and then it will show back up in your fleet. So then you can start to request service on it. So that is the basic functionality of LiftOne Now. I'm going to now just kind of switch over and show you how to activate your account. So after this webinar, everyone who's attended, we are going to send you an activation email. It's going to look something like this. In fact, it'll look exactly like this. It'll come from help@liftonenow.com, and you'll see the activate account button. All you have to do is press that. It'll pull up a form. This is, as I mentioned before in your profile, this is where you'll add your cell phone number, you'll create a password, and you'll choose your location. That's your primary location. It would just be helpful for us to know where you're physically located, and whatever you choose, it will update our back system as well. And then you'll hit proceed, and you will be taken to your account immediately. So as we say here, log in and explore, click around, look at your fleet. What we find most people do is go straight to their fleet, and they let us know if they have a truck, if they don't have a truck, and that's kind of like a great way to get started. So that is LiftOne Now, and we are going to move into the questions portion. Daniel is in marketing. He helps set all this up. He's our moderator. He's been monitoring the chat. So Daniel, do we have any questions from our participants?
Hey, Charlene. Yes, we certainly do. We have a few that have come in. And the first question is can I use this program on different devices?
Okay, that question was, can I use this on different devices? You sure can. And basically, as I was saying, it's not a native app, so you can't go to the App Store and download it, but it's liftonenow.com. If you get a new phone, if you get a new tablet or a new laptop, all you have to do is open a browser. We recommend Chrome, and liftonenow.com. Your email is your unique identifier. So just type in your email. Is always going to be your username and password. And again, if you've forgotten your password, click forgot password, put in your email address, and you'll be up and running immediately.
Perfect.
Were there
Thanks
any
for
more
that
questions?
info. Yep, we got 2 more. First
Okay.
one is, what happens if my truck breaks down after you've closed for the day?
That's a good one. And I think we have Carrie, we've got another team member, our customer success specialist. Did you want to take that one, Carrie?
Yeah, of course. So that is a great question, and it could happen. So if you do place a request after service hours, you'll see a pop-up modal. It'll give you the option to select having the tech come the next business day, or you can choose to send a tech that evening, and that is an emergency repair. And that may include additional charges depending on your maintenance agreement. But either way, you have a couple of options if it does break down after you close for the day.
Perfect. We just had another one come in. The question is, what is the cost of LiftOne Now?
Well, for our customers, we love to say this one. This is value added. There's no cost to our customers. We, as Scott alluded to in the beginning, we want to give you flexibility and make doing business with us easy. So this is just another way, instead of calling or emailing the branch or trying to text someone, this is just another way for you to reach us, and there's absolutely no cost to you.
Awesome. And one last question that we have is, if I had an idea of something I'd like to see added to LiftOne Now, what's the best way to let you know?
Oh, we love customer feedback. So actually, we have made some changes to LiftOne Now based on user feedback. And in fact, what Scott called the pizza tracker. What I didn't tell you guys, but it is coming soon, is we've updated those statuses, but we also, what we have in progress right now will be a tracker, like a visual tracker with some help text that will explain the different statuses when you open up your request. So that's coming too. And that was based on direct feedback that we got earlier this year. So we put it in the roadmap and we got going on it. And we've got, you can see on the screen right now, help@liftonenow.com, but also in the chat. If you have any ideas or anything you want to talk to us about, put it in there and we'll reach out to you directly and, schedule a session with you. We can hop on Zoom with you and, go through whatever feedback that you have, or you can even reach out to your rep. And if you don't know who your rep is, help@liftonenow.com, we will get a rep for you. Do we have anything else?
Awesome, Charlene. I think that's all we have for questions.
Okay, great. Well, thank you everyone for joining. We're so happy that you could be with us today. We're here for you, and we hope that you will activate your account. If you have any issues, I think I've said this probably 10 times today, but truly we are here for you. We want to help you. If you have several people at your company that want to join and you need to schedule like a separate demo session for them, we're happy to do that as well. So with that, I'd like to thank our moderators and Scott and everyone involved with this today, and look forward to hearing from you guys soon. Have a great afternoon. Take care.